Hello viewers, welcome to Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Today we have a 2010 BMW X5. This vehicle came to us through one of our subscribers. The owner of this vehicle knows one of our subscribers. Actually, when they brought the vehicle here, he told me that his neighbor told him about us. So this vehicle was towed to us. It came from another shop. It was at the other shop for 3 days. As the owner dropped it off at the other shop, the vehicle stayed there. They didn't do anything to it. And then when the owner went back to the shop to tell them to check on the status of the vehicle, they told him they were still trying to figure out if they could fix it. And then when he got home, he talked to his neighbor. He said, you know, my BMW won't start, it just quit. My wife was driving, it quit. I towed it to the shop, but they're telling me that they have to look at it to see if they can fix it. And then his neighbor recommended that he brings his vehicle to our shop. He said, wait a minute, there's this guy called Dio. I have been watching his videos on YouTube. He's good, you should check him out. He's here in Frederick. So they Googled us, they found our phone number on Google. He called us and then he set up an appointment. He went to the other shop, picked up his car from that shop and brought it here. So here we are. So hopefully we can figure out what's going on with this vehicle. So now let's go in the vehicle so we can confirm the customer's complaint. I tried starting it when the vehicle first got dropped off. The battery is dead. When we connect a jump box to it, nothing happens. When you press the push start button, the vehicle doesn't start. So let's go in the vehicle so we can confirm the customer's complaint. Behind the camera, we have our cameraman, Kyler. Kyler, thanks for being here. So now let's go in the vehicle so we can see what we got. All right, so we have a jump box under the hood because the battery is dead. So let's see. Let me roll the windows down first because it's hot. It's hot here. It's getting hot. Ooh. I don't do well in the heat. All right, so hold on, let me turn this off. All right, so I'm stepping on the brake pedal. I press the push start button. Nothing is happening. So Kyler, can you show the dash? The check engine light comes on. All the most lights on the dash come on. Okay. I press the push start button. Can you show as I press this button here? So nothing is happening. So no crank, no start. Okay, so that's customer's complaint confirmed. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the scan tool connected to the vehicle. We're gonna connect the scan tool and scan the engine computer to see if we have any codes in the engine computer. Hopefully we do have codes. If not, we're gonna check the starting circuit. Because when you step on the brakes and you press the start button, the engine computer is supposed to energize the starter relay to energize the starter so that the starter can spin the engine. So we could have a bad starter, we could have a bad starter relay, we could have a wiring problem. So we have to do some tests to figure out what's going on. So I'm gonna grab the scan tool, I will get it connected, and then I'll bring you guys back up. All right, so I got the scan tool connected to the vehicle. I'm gonna turn the key on. Okay, needless to say, it doesn't start. So key is on. Let's scan this and see if we have any codes. I don't like this noise, this dinging noise, this BMW noise. I mean, it's pretty clean. It's a pretty clean vehicle. Okay, so the vehicle has been identified. Let's see. Hopefully we have a code. Now, we may not have codes because the battery died. So right there, 2010 BMW X5. Let's do a code scan. So right there. We have 5 codes in the engine computer. So first code is 2DEC. It says power management battery monitor. Okay. And then the second one is 2F4A EWS electronic immobilizer ECU engine ECU interface. We have immobilizer codes That's no bueno. Okay, and then we have ambient temperature sensor communication. We have 2A3F Valvetronic motor power supply, and then 2DED power management current current monitor. Now the immobilizer code can cause this vehicle to not start. Is there some weird light here? Now we have the airbag light on, that's it. There's no immobilizer light here on this car. Let me see. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let's scroll down, actually. Let's wait for the scan tool to finish scanning all these control units. And then what I would like to do is I'm gonna erase all these codes, and then we will see what codes come back first. And then we might have to figure out where the starter is located on this vehicle. We're gonna go to the starter, do some tests at the starter. If we don't have power going to the control wire of the starter, then we can work our way back towards the switch, the push button switch. Because we could have a bad relay or bad fuse, you know, or something. Or if we can get to the starter, we can jump the starter and get the vehicle to start so we can drive the car in the shop and then figure it out there. So we'll see, because I don't want to be here in the sun. All right, so the scan tool is done finishing scanning all these control units. We have 5 codes in the transmission control unit. Now it says parking gear incorrect engagement. So I know the tow truck driver put this in neutral manually. So let's make sure this thing is in park, because if the engine computer or the transmission computer is not recognizing the gear in which the transmission is in, it's not gonna start. So let's make sure this thing is in park. Hold on. Oh, I didn't have the key on. What? This thing is stuck in park, so maybe that's odd. Maybe that's why it's not starting, because the engine computer and the transmission computer doesn't know what gear this transmission is in. Very interesting. So I'm moving this little lever here. So usually when you move this, can you see these letters here, Kyler? So the key is on, I step on the brake pedal. When you do this, you know, this light should go to the R. The R should be lit right now. The reverse, and then neutral, and then drive. Because I think you can shift through the gears with the key on. I don't think that the engine needs to be running. I don't remember. Maybe. It's been a little while since I've messed with these ones. Okay, so let's do this. Let's clear all the codes. I have all these codes saved in the engine computer. I mean in the scan tool. Let's clear all of them and see what happens. Interesting. Kyler, you want to take a guess? What do you think is wrong with this BMW? You don't know?
Could be starter.
Starter? Maybe, yeah, that's a good guess. Are you just saying that because of what I said?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Actually, guys, this vehicle has 124,000 miles, 337. So, not a lot. For a BMW, that's nothing. I mean, the vehicle seems in pretty good shape. Seems to be in good shape. I mean, the inside looks good. Do you like this color, Kyler? This?
My favorite, but
That's,
I
yeah.
think I'd like black better.
You like black better?
Yeah.
Dang, how many modules this thing has? Still going. Okay, so I believe this transmission is still stuck in neutral, because I believe the tow truck driver, there's a bolt that you can tighten all the way on the transmission. It pushes the lever up, the transmission shift lever up, to manually put the transmission in neutral. But the thing is, when that happens, the light usually stays on the neutral position. But that's not what's happening here. Okay, so we got all the codes cleared. Let's scan all these control units again. Okay, so after erasing all the codes, now we got 0 codes in the engine computer. Let me try to start it. Let's see. I heard something run under the hood. All right. Okay, so we got 0 codes in the engine computer. So now let's go under the hood. Let's stay low tech right now. Let's figure out where the starter is and do some basic tests at the starter. And then we'll go from there. So let's go under the hood. I was saying off camera, I was telling Kyler, hopefully it's easy to get to the starter on this one. But since it's a BMW, nothing is easy to get to on the BMW. So, we're gonna have to jack it up. I believe the starter is somewhere down here. I think the easiest way would be getting to it from under the vehicle. All right, so I might have to remove the air filter box, or maybe I can figure out where the starter relay is, and we can do the test from the starter relay before taking a bunch of stuff apart, because we can energize the starter from the starter relay to see if it's gonna crank the engine. Okay, so let me figure out what directions we're gonna go. Let me figure out where the starter relay is first, and then if it's hard to get to, I'm sure it's probably buried somewhere. If it's hard to get to, well, what I'm trying to say is, if getting to the starter is the easiest thing to do, we're gonna go to the starter. If it's hard to get to the starter, I'm gonna locate the starter relay, then we will do our tests at the starter relay. So I'm gonna figure that out, and then I'll bring you guys back up. I determined that doing some tests at the starter is actually a lot easier than getting to the starter relay. Actually, this starter is not controlled by a relay, it's controlled by a control unit under the dash. Now, trying to get under the dash to get to the wires that go to the starter is a lot more difficult than doing the test here under the hood. I removed the air filter box that goes on top of the engine. I got it off. Now I can see the starter. So the quick test I want to do is, I would like to tap into the control wire of the starter to see if we have power going to the starter control wire when we press the start button. If we have power going to that wire, that would mean the starter is getting power and ground. The starter should be cranking the engine. At that point, if there's power and ground at the starter and the control, the starter should be spinning. If it's not spinning, then it's a bad starter. So Matt, we have Matt behind the camera. Actually, we started this with cameraman Kyler. Today we have Matt. So Matt, if you can come here under the hood. So Matt is gonna show you the starter. The starter is under the intake manifold. That red heavy gauge wire you see, that's the B positive terminal of the starter. And then the connector next to it is the control wire of the starter. Okay? All right. So I'm gonna use one of my favorite tools. We're gonna use Phil's probe. I'm gonna check the control wire first. Okay, the control wire of the starter. Okay, you guys won't be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm tapping into the control wire of the starter. So my Phil probe over here, Matt, can you see this probe? So this Phil probe is connected to the starter control wire. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna grab a test light. Okay, we got the test light here. I'm gonna connect it to ground. I'm gonna connect it to the alternator bolt. So test light is connected to ground, and then I'm gonna connect my test light to the fill probe right there. Okay, so I'm gonna connect my jump box. So right now, one side of the test light is connected to ground, and then the other side of the test light is connected to the starter control wire. If we're getting power at the starter control wire, when I start the vehicle, the test light should light. So, Matt, if you can focus on the test light, I'm gonna go in the vehicle and start the engine. Tell me if the test light lights when I press the start button. So right there. Yep. Does it come on? Yep. Perfect. Let me do it one more time. On. Yep. Off. Yep. On. Yep. Off. Yep. Okay. All right. So the fact that the test light comes on when I press the push start button, this tells me that the starter is getting controlled. Okay, the start button is good, the relay is good, the wiring is good. So this is starting to look like we have a bad starter. Okay, so now the other thing I want to check is I want to make sure that we have good power at the starter. I mean the B positive terminal of the starter. Let's make sure there's power there. If there is, then I'm gonna feel comfortable calling for a bad starter. Now, we can also do a voltage drop test on the positive side of the starter and the negative side of the starter, but getting to it is going to be challenging. So let's see. All right, so I'm done with the test light for now. I'm gonna disconnect my Phil's probe. Okay, I love this tool. All right, so we checked our starter control wire. So now, how are we going to do a voltage drop test on the starter? Actually, if I come from back here, I can get to the starter bolt. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to use my multimeter. So we're gonna do a voltage drop test on the negative side of the starter first. Actually, I need another alligator clamp. I'm gonna go grab another alligator clamp from the shop, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I got another alligator clamp from the shop. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to connect one alligator clamp. So we're done with the test light. I'm gonna connect one alligator clamp to the starter, the alternator bolt. I'm gonna turn on my multimeter. We have to be on the voltage scale. Okay, so one test lead is connected to ground. Okay, alternator bolt. If I touch power, we should read system voltage. So right there. Now we have minus here because our test leads are flipped around. That's okay. So now I'm gonna connect this alligator clamp to the starter bolt. You guys won't be able to see what I'm doing, but I can access the starter bolt back here. Okay, so I'm connected at the starter bolt. I'm gonna put this up here. So right now we're connected between ground to ground, okay? Starter ground and alternator ground. Actually, we have another ground over here. We have this jumping point over here. I don't know how good this ground is. Yeah, we can use that ground over there, okay? So now I'm gonna go in the vehicle and push the start button. Our reading over here should be below 0.5 volt, okay? If we have anything over 0.5 volt, that would mean there is excessive voltage drop on the ground side of the starter, okay? Or, in other words, that would mean there is high resistance on the ground side of the starter. I'm gonna go in the vehicle and start it. I'm gonna press the start button. Tell me what's the reading on the
0.01.
What's that?
0.01.
0.01? Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm trying to start it right now. I'm pressing the start button. Okay, that's good. So 0.01 is good. That's acceptable, okay? So we don't have excessive voltage drop on the ground side of the starter, so that's good. All right, so now let me figure out a way to tap into the power wire of the starter. Let me see if I can touch it. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. It's so tight up here. I don't think I'll be able to get to the power wire of the starter. And this is how do you check this? Everything is so tight down here. There's no room. Okay, let me see if I can work some magic, some Congolese voodoo. I've heard people telling me that, like, Dio, how do you fix all these cars? Do you have some voodoo? I'm like, no. Oops. Let me see. Oh, perfect. I'm connected to the B positive terminal of the starter. Look, you see how we have system voltage now, battery voltage, so that's good. So now we're gonna go between power and power. So right now, look, we're reading minus 11.09. This is battery voltage. The battery is a little weak, that's fine, okay? So one test lead is connected to the starter B positive terminal, and then here's our second test lead. It's connected to ground, okay? Now I'm going to move it to this B positive terminal over here, okay? So Matt, just focus on the multimeter screen there. Now we're doing a voltage drop test of the positive side of the starter. So I'm going to try to start it again. What's the number? 0. Okay, that's good. I'll take 0. So I'm trying to start it now. Same thing, still 0. Okay. All right, well, we're done with our testing. We have power and ground at the starter. We don't have excessive voltage drop on the ground side of the starter. We also don't have excessive voltage drop on the power side of the starter. The starter is getting control on the control wire. Every time we press the start button, the control wire gets power. So this starter should be spinning. It should be cranking the engine. The fact that it's not cranking the engine, this tells me that the starter is defective. So we're done with our testing. This starter needs to be replaced. Okay. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back in the shop and make an estimate. I'm gonna send the owner of this vehicle an estimate. After he approves it, we're gonna get a starter and install it. After we replace the starter, this vehicle should start. I mean, it should at least crank. I don't know about starting, but it should crank. Maybe it's gonna start too, we'll see. So now the owner of this vehicle told me that he also wants us to give this vehicle a once over. Once we have it here, he told me, Dio, check everything you need to check. If it needs anything else, please go ahead and fix it. Now, Matt, if you can come over here, let's show everybody. We have a huge oil leak over here. Do you see this area? You see how wet it is over here? Look how wet it is over here. Yeah, oops, I hope you can see. Look how dry my finger is. I'm gonna touch this area here. Look. See how wet my finger has become? So the valve cover gasket is leaking. Okay, so we might have to replace the valve cover gasket too. Now, since these valve covers are plastic, it is recommended to just replace the entire valve cover instead of just getting the gasket. So I'm gonna have to price that out also, okay? But for now, let's focus on getting this vehicle started. We're gonna start it, drive it in the shop. We're gonna inspect it once we put it on the lift, and then we'll go from there. So I don't think I'm gonna show you the process of the starter replacement, maybe I'll bring you guys back up after I get the starter out. Once the starter is out, I'm gonna show it to you. Then I will show you the new one, and then I'm gonna install the starter off camera. After we get everything installed, I will bring you guys back up again so we can start this vehicle together. So I'm gonna go make an estimate and then I'll bring you guys back up. All right, guys, we did get the go ahead from the customer to fix this BMW. The customer approved our estimate. I went ahead and removed the old starter off camera. I'm gonna show it to you. Now I'm getting ready to install the new starter. I wanna show you our new starter before I install it. I'm going to do the installation off camera, and after that, I will bring you guys back up. So here's the old starter. If Matt can show you this. So this is the old starter that came out of the vehicle. As you can see, it looks old. Okay. And then this is our brand new Bosch starter. Okay. Now to remove this starter, we had to remove the intake manifold. This is the box for the starter. Now, let me show you where the starter is located. So the starter is right here. So I had to clean the starter surface. I hope Matt can see how clean this is. So I cleaned the starter surface. Now I am ready to install our new starter. I'm gonna show you the intake manifold. So here's the intake manifold that I removed to get access to the starter. I'm gonna have to clean the throttle body plate while I have the intake manifold out. Okay, so at this point, I am going to install this starter. I'm gonna get it installed. After I finish installing this, I will bring you guys back up. I don't need to show you the boring part of me installing this starter. I'm gonna get this installed, and then after that, this engine should start. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll bring you guys back up. All right, guys, I have put everything back together. Matt, if you can show everyone the engine. As you can see, I have reinstalled the intake manifold, the air filter box, all is well. Now, the battery is dead. We're gonna put a jump pack on it. So Robin, if you can put a jump pack on, and then let's see. It is the moment of the truth. Let's see if we made the right call. Okay. Now, I was getting ground just right there on the alternator bolt. Yeah. No, this usually is corroded. Just put the ground over here. Yeah, that's going to be a better ground there. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if it's going to run. It is the moment of the truth. Ready? Battery's dead. It's running. Yay. All right. So, as you guys can hear, it's running. So we made the right call.
Yes, sir.
It needed a starter. Now, like I said earlier, the owner of this vehicle told us to do an inspection. He told us to check everything. I told him, oh, look at the smoke.
Oh.
Classic. Matt, can you come closer here? Look at this smoke over here. So that is oil leaking. Oil is burning from the exhaust manifold. So oil is falling inside the exhaust manifold, and that's what's causing that smoke. So the valve cover gasket is leaking.
Yep.
Actually, Robin and I were talking about this earlier. We're gonna recommend, what did you say?
Valve cover.
Valve cover, right?
Yes.
We're gonna recommend.
But sometimes I have to crack.
Yeah, Robin is a BMW specialist. So I was telling Robin, I was like, man, this is probably gonna need a valve cover gasket or maybe a valve cover. Robin is like, no, we gotta change the valve cover. Cover is coming off. I was like, okay. We're gonna do the whole valve cover. I agree. So
that's cool.
That's good. I mean, we have to do it right, you know?
Yeah.
That's how we do it here at Kids Auto and Truck Repair. We take care of our customers. We do it right. You know, we just don't fix cars, but we also prevent future breakdowns,
Yes,
you know?
yes, that's the greatest thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna have another happy customer.
Absolutely.
Can you turn it off for me? Let's start it one more time, and then we're gonna wrap up this video. Actually, rev it first. Rev it up before you... Nice. It sounds good. It sounds good. Start it. Perfect. Start it one more time. Nice. Turn it off. Start it again. Nice. Okay, so we can move it tomorrow. I mean, it's getting late here. We don't need to. We're gonna have to put it on the lift tomorrow. You put it on the lift, and then we're gonna inspect it. After we do the inspection, we're gonna send the customer the inspection report, and then we'll go from there. I know we have an oil leak right there already. All right, so you can turn it off. Thank you very much for being here, brother.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem, man.
Thank you for your hard work.
No problem. No problem. My pleasure.
I appreciate you. All right, guys, that's it. This is fixed. We made the right call. Actually, it's interesting because this vehicle was at another shop. It stayed there for, I think, 4 days, he told me. And then for some reason, they were like, oh, we still have to figure out if we can fix it. I guess that shop doesn't touch BMWs.
Oh.
So, I mean, this wasn't too difficult. I was like, okay, bring it to us. We'll do it for you.
Absolutely.
So the customer towed the vehicle to us. We diagnosed it. We figured out the problem. Now it's running. So we're going to have another happy customer.
Absolutely.
So everybody, I hope you like the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumb down. But if you do, tell us why so we can make better videos in the future. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Cameraman Matt, thanks for being here. Robin, thank you for your help.
No problem.
Thank you, everybody. See you guys next time.